Mark. I'm a sculptor, and I work with a lot of different materials, from timber to wire, recycled tyres, that sort of thing. I study Bachelor of Arts in Education at Sydney Uni with a major in Fine Arts, History and Theory. So I sort of had my own studio. First I was working out of my parents' garage, and then had a studio at Addison Road Community Centre. Got a bunch of art studios in there. And sort of kept jumping around.
Cool.
Place to play. And then I've got my own studio. I've got a studio residency at the moment at Sashimi Studios in Marrickville.
Cool.
And so that's good. And that's and then I'll have my show in their gallery at the end of October. It's the big plan.
Awesome.
And then I work out of Tortuga Studios a lot.
Oh yeah, with Ian?
Yeah, so I work with him there a lot, and I also hire space off them when I need to do larger projects, and especially large timber projects and that kind of thing.
Cool. What were some of the things you learnt in those early experiences of, having your own studio space and, obtaining equipment and materials, that kind of thing? Yeah,
it's kind of been a slow process.
Yeah.
It would have been it would have been good to have somebody going, if you do it this way, or if you just use this tool.
Yeah.
But equipment's a big one. Like getting the gear that you need to do certain things, and also knowing what's available and what you can do with what tools is definitely a big one.
Any important lessons you learnt in those first few years?
I don't know. Just make stuff.
Yeah.
I think all of the opportunities I've been given and all the good work I've had, or opportunities to exhibit and that kind of thing, have all just come from just making the art first and then figuring out where it's going to go. Or
how many hours a week do you spend in your studio on your art practice?
At the moment, I'm sort of working a lot, so I'm only getting about 2 days a week in there.
Yeah.
If that sometimes. So, maybe 16 hours a week, which isn't very much. But the way that I sort of find myself working a lot of the time is to work slowly 1-2 days a week while I'm working on other people's projects or whatever, and then I'd normally have big blocks of a month to just be in my studio every day. And
cool. So you've got that 2 days a week for your own practice, and then the other work you do is working. Is that all you do for work? Is work for other people as well?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sweet.
Been doing, huge for the past 2 years, but a large range of jobs.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get more and more work making other artists work, and
Is that a good way to kind of develop skills and contacts and?
Definitely. Skills, contacts, and also added practice. If you're speaking about studio practice and that kind of thing, it's awesome to I feel like it's brought me up a lot in terms of the quality of work and the amount of time and detail that goes into work.
Yeah.
When you're doing somebody else's, you sort of have to work to their standard, or to the standard of the the fine institutions that this work's being shown in.
Yeah.
And then I take that into my own practice, and it sort of pushes me to do a bit more finish and a bit more.
Yeah, awesome. How did you first kind of get in contact with artists like Benita and other artists you work for?
I started just making my own stuff, and then through that, I've sort of, people have approached me at different points and sort of said they want that work in some. I don't know. It always seems to be a flow from what you do to who you meet and how you make those connections. But I started working with Ed about 2 or 3 years ago, And that was a big connection point for a lot of other contacts I've got.
Cool.
And then also just volunteering for different arts things and that kind of thing. I met Benita through the Desert Equinox Festival that went out in Broken Hill, so I went out there just volunteering to sort of do a bit of work, and it's sort of things like that flow on sometimes and sometimes they don't. But
it's been a real gradual process. It hasn't all just happened like that.
No. But I mean, 2 years is not a long time to
true.
build up contacts.
True.